The 1970s were one of the most creative decades in music history. It was when rock matured, soul became more refined, and pop learned how to tell stories full of emotion and truth. But while some names ruled the charts, many equally brilliant songs simply vanished, buried beneath the shine of the era's biggest hits. These tracks weren't failures, they were just swallowed by time. Forgotten masterpieces that deserve to be heard again. And that's exactly what today's video is about. 10 underrated songs from the 70s you need to rediscover now. 10 incredible tracks full of heart, storytelling, and soul. Songs you've probably heard once before, but might not remember by name. So before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps bring this video to more true music lovers and keeps the spirit of the 70s alive. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Picture the crackle of a radio, the hum of vinyl, and the thrill of discovering something timeless all over again. Ready? Let's begin with number 10. Number 10, Lonely Boy, by Andrew Gold, released in 1977. Few songs manage to be both vibrant and deeply melancholic, but Lonely Boy strikes that perfect balance. It's a portrait of hidden loneliness behind a cheerful melody, the kind of emotional contradiction that defined much of the 70s sound. Andrew Gold was a one-man band, singer, guitarist, drummer, pianist, and arranger, a perfectionist in the studio. You can hear that precision in every note, crisp harmonies, rich textures, and a chorus that feels both joyful and heartbreaking at once. The lyrics tell the story of a boy who feels forgotten after his sister is born. A simple idea, yet one that resonates with anyone who's ever felt left behind. Many believed it was autobiographical, but Gold always denied it, saying he just liked how the name sounded. Still, the emotion feels painfully real. The song walks a fine line between catchy pop and quiet sadness. You can dance to it, but you'll also feel that sting of nostalgia deep down. Though it reached the charts, Lonely Boy was overshadowed by bigger names dominating the airwaves. Yet it never truly disappeared. The song lived on in movies like Boogie Nights, TV shows and commercials, rediscovered again and again by new listeners who felt its quiet brilliance. Lonely Boy reminds us that not every great song needs to scream to be heard. Some just whisper and stay with you forever. But not every forgotten hit came from loneliness. Some captured the sound of freedom itself. And that's where we're headed next. Number 9, Right Down the Line, by Jerry Rafferty, released in 1978. Everyone remembers Baker Street, that legendary sax riff that defined the late 1970s. But few remember that Rafferty had another masterpiece on the same album, Right Down the Line. While Baker Street spoke of loneliness and frustration, Right Down the Line was its opposite, a sincere declaration of love and loyalty. It's one of those rare songs that manages to be romantic without sounding corny. The melody is effortless, yet deeply intimate. A smooth blend of soft rock and light reggae groove that feels like a late-night confession. He wrote it during a calmer chapter of his life, after years of label disputes and burnout. You can hear that peace in his voice. Steady, warm, and completely honest. He's not performing, he's feeling. The production is immaculate. Clean guitars, subtle percussion, and that steady bass line that feels like a heartbeat. It's deceptively simple, the kind of arrangement that sounds easy until you try to recreate it yourself. Though it reached the top 20 in the US, Right Down the Line was overshadowed by the massive success of Baker Street. Still, among real music lovers, it remains one of the most genuine, timeless love songs of the entire decade. And while Rafferty sang about peace and devotion, another band from America was capturing the sound of open highways and endless freedom.
Long as I got your love.
Number 8, Ride Captain Ride by Blues Image, released in 1970.
Three men sailed up from the San Francisco.
Few songs capture the free-spirited mystery of the early 70s quite like this one. Ride Captain Ride feels like a call to adventure, a story about courage, exploration, and the longing to break away from the ordinary. The song begins with a hypnotic groove that slowly builds until the chorus bursts open. Ride, Captain, ride upon your mystery ship. For a moment, you can almost see that ship sailing away into the horizon. Musically, it's a rare blend. Psychedelic rock with touches of blues and soul. One of those perfectly strange experiments that could only have been born in that era. The story behind it is just as fascinating. Vocalist Mike Pinheiro once said the song came to life by accident when keyboardist Skip Conte started playing random chords in rehearsal. The lyrics followed soon after, inspired by a dream about a mysterious crew leaving everything behind in search of something greater. Despite its brilliance, Ride Captain Ride was the band's only major hit. It climbed into the Billboard Top 10 in 1970, but Blues Image soon broke up, leaving behind a single, unforgettable anthem that felt more like a message in a bottle than a pop song. Over the decades, it became a cult classic, loved by collectors and musicians who recognized its quiet genius. It's light yet haunting, mysterious yet warm. And above all, it's a reminder of what 70s music did best, turning the unknown into sound. But freedom didn't just belong to the sea. In 1972, another band turned California's endless highways into pure poetry. Number 7, Peaceful Easy Feeling by Eagles, released in 1972.
I got a peaceful, easy feeling.
Before they became one of the biggest bands in history, the Eagles were just 4 musicians chasing the sound of California, and they found it with Peaceful Easy Feeling. This song isn't just music, it's a feeling. It's the sunset reflecting on your car window, the warm wind in your hair, and that quiet peace that comes when you finally let go of the past. Written by Jack Tempchin and recorded for the band's debut album, it struck the perfect balance between folk and country rock. The melody is simple but magnetic. Den Henley and Glenn Frey's harmonies feel like a soft embrace, honest, warm, and deeply human. Peaceful, Easy Feeling isn't about passion or heartbreak, it's about contentment, trust, and quiet love, the kind that doesn't need promises to feel real. It's the soundtrack to a slower, gentler world. The song helped define the Eagles' signature sound, that effortless blend of harmony and sunlight that came to define California rock. Though later overshadowed by mega hits like Hotel California and Take It Easy, this track remains one of the band's truest statements. Music about freedom, the open road, and peace of mind. And maybe that's why, even today, when it plays, everything feels lighter, like time slows down for just a little while. But while the Eagles gave us serenity and calm, another British musician was about to turn betrayal into one of the smoothest grooves of the decade.
Number 6, How Long by Ace, released in 1974. At first listen, you'd swear it's a love song, and in a way, it is. But not the kind you'd expect. How Long isn't about romantic betrayal. It's about something more personal, being betrayed by your own bandmate. Paul Carrick, the band's vocalist and songwriter, wrote it after discovering that Ace's bassist had been secretly playing with another group. Instead of turning the story into drama, he wrapped it in a smooth groove and soulful melody, and the result was an instant classic. The track blends British soul with the polish of American soft rock. Carrick's voice is silky yet emotional. You can hear the disappointment, but also the quiet acceptance of someone who's learned to let go. Though it was Ace's only major hit, How Long launched Paul Carrick's long career, later lending his voice to bands like Mike Plus the Mechanics and Squeeze. There's a timeless quality to it. The simple bass riff, the crisp rhythm, the unforgettable hook. It's the kind of song that could be released today and still feel fresh. At its core, How Long is about trust. That moment you realize betrayal doesn't always come from strangers, but sometimes from those you'd least expect. But if How Long felt like calm after the storm, the next song is pure emotion, a heartfelt confession about love that arrives when you least expect it.
Number 5. Fooled Around and Fell in Love by Elvin Bishop, released in 1975. Some songs seem to happen by accident and end up timeless. Fooled Around and Fell in Love is exactly that, one of those magical moments where everything just clicks effortlessly. Elvin Bishop was a laid-back blues guitarist, not really known for soft pop ballads. He didn't even plan to sing this one himself. Thinking his voice wasn't right for it, he handed the mic to one of his backup singers, Mickey Thomas. And that single decision changed everything. Thomas's voice brought the song to life, tender, powerful, and heartbreakingly honest. When he sings, "I must have been through about 1,000,000 girls," you can feel the story shift. The playboy finally falling in love for real. Musically, it's a masterclass in restraint. The guitarists shimmer, the drums keep a soft pulse, and Bishop's solo carries pure emotion without showing off. Every sound has space. Every note feels intentional. The song climbed into the Billboard Top 5 and became one of the defining love anthems of the decade. But more importantly, it aged beautifully. It speaks to something universal, the fear of love and the quiet miracle of surrendering to it. Decades later, Fooled Around and Fell in Love still feels fresh. It's been featured in countless films, TV shows, and remains one of America's favorite wedding songs. But while this song captured the beauty of falling in love, the next one takes us somewhere far more mysterious, a poetic encounter between romance and intrigue wrapped in one of the most sophisticated productions of the 70s.
I didn't care how much they cried, no sir.
Number 4. Year of the Cat by Al Stewart, released in 1976. If the 1970s had a sound for mystery, it would sound like this. Year of the Cat isn't just a song, it's a journey. Smooth, cinematic, and hauntingly beautiful. Al Stewart drew inspiration from Eastern astrology, particularly the Vietnamese zodiac, where the Year of the Cat represents luck, intuition, and mystery. But what he created was something far more human, a fleeting love story set in a foreign land, told like a dream that fades at sunrise. The song was produced by Alan Parsons, the mastermind behind Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon. That influence is unmistakable. The production feels expansive, detailed, and atmospheric, as if each instrument occupies its own world. The arrangement is stunning. Gentle piano, a bittersweet sax solo, and chord progressions that flow like a long train ride through a hazy landscape. Nothing rushes, every note breathes. And then there's the lyric. She comes out of the sun in a silk dress running, like a watercolor in the rain. It's not just writing, it's painting with words, a moment suspended in time between two strangers who never really say goodbye. And while it never topped the charts, Year of the Cat became a cult favorite, a symbol of musical sophistication and emotional storytelling. It's proof that a song doesn't need to be simple to be unforgettable. It just needs to be honest enough to draw you in completely.
But while Al Stewart turned love into poetry, a Texas-born singer was blending spirituality, folklore, and emotion into one of the most unexpectedly moving songs of the decade.
Number 3. Wildfire by Michael Martin Murphey, released in 1975.
He comes down from Yellow Mountain.
Some songs feel like they came from another world, whispered through the wind before finding their way to us. Wildfire is one of those songs, part legend, part dream, and completely heartfelt. It tells the story of a young woman who loses her horse, Wildfire, in a blizzard. Heartbroken, she runs after him and disappears. Years later, the narrator feels the spirit of that same horse calling to him, as if their souls are still riding together, forever free.
I had a dream, and the dream became this song that I wrote down on a legal pad.
Murphy said the song came to him in a dream. He woke up with the melody and a vision of a girl in a white dress riding through the snow. The result was one of the most hauntingly beautiful tracks of the 1970s. Fragile, emotional, and almost spiritual. Musically, Wildfire blends folk and progressive country. The arrangement is delicate. Soft piano, gentle strings, and Murphy's tender vocals. There's space in this song, moments of silence that speak louder than the music itself. It reached the top 10 in the US, but its legacy goes beyond chart success. What makes Wildfire timeless is its soul. That sense that you're not just hearing a song, you're witnessing something sacred. Few songs capture the mystery of life and death, the weight of longing, and the beauty of the unknown, quite like this one. And that's why every time it plays, the world seems to slow down, just enough to listen. But after the quiet spirituality of Wildfire, the next artist takes us in the opposite direction, into rhythm, desire, and the sleek sophistication of the 1970s nightlife.
Number 2. Love is the Drug by Roxy Music, released in 1975. When glam rock started to fade, Roxy Music stepped in with something entirely new, a sound that fused elegance with danger, sophistication with desire. Love is the Drug wasn't just a song, it was an atmosphere. From the opening seconds, John Gustafson's bass line pulls you in, steady, hypnotic, and dripping with sensuality. Bryan Ferry doesn't just sing, he performs. His voice moves like smoke, part confession, part seduction. The lyrics follow a man searching for love on a lonely night, but here, love isn't romantic, it's addictive. Late at night, I park my car, stake my place in the singles bar. You can see it all, the neon lights, the cigarette haze, the glimmer of temptation. Musically, Love is the Drug is groundbreaking. It's funk, it's art rock, it's sleek pop, all in one. A perfect fusion that paved the way for the entire sound of the 1980s. Though it became Roxy Music's biggest US hit, many overlook just how influential it truly was, shaping everything from new wave to synth pop. Bryan Ferry once said the song was where glamour meets addiction. And that's exactly what it feels like, a celebration of passion that's as dangerous as it is irresistible. And while Roxy Music closed the decade with style and seduction, a band from Boston was about to redefine perfection, crafting a sound so clean it felt like it came from the future. Number 1, More Than a Feeling by Boston, released in 1976. Some songs didn't just define the 70s, they defined how rock would sound for decades to come. More Than a Feeling is one of those songs. You don't just hear it, you feel it.
Written by Tom Schultz, an MIT engineer obsessed with perfection, the track was almost entirely recorded in his basement studio, a groundbreaking feat for its time. The result was a sound so clean, so powerful, it felt like something divine. The lyrics are simple but deeply human, about memory, loss, and the way a song can pull you back to a moment long gone. I see my Marianne walking away. Everyone has a Marianne, a face or a memory that music can instantly bring back. Musically, it's flawless. Layered guitars create a shimmering wall of sound, while Brad Delp's soaring vocals deliver emotion with near supernatural precision. It's technical mastery wrapped around raw feeling, a perfect balance between science and soul. More Than a Feeling reached the Billboard Top 5 and became Boston's signature anthem. But beyond the charts, it represented something deeper. The idea that perfection and passion can coexist in the same song. Even today, it sounds fresh, timeless, alive, and utterly human. It reminds us that music isn't just about hearing, it's about remembering. And now that we've revisited these forgotten masterpieces, let's take a moment to understand why they still matter and what they tell us about the soul of the 70s. The 1970s were more than just a musical decade. They were an emotional revolution, a time when every note carried honesty, and every chorus told a story about who we were. These 10 songs may not have received the recognition they deserved, but they never really disappeared. They've just been waiting, quietly, to be rediscovered. When we listen to them now, we're not just hearing the past, we're reconnecting with memories, feelings, and moments that still live somewhere inside us. Each of these tracks, in its own way, captures what it means to be human. Love, loneliness, freedom, longing, and the simple joy of feeling something real. That's what makes 70s music timeless. It didn't rely on formulas or trends, it relied on soul. And that soul still echoes through old radios, new playlists, and anyone who still feels something when they hear a song that tells the truth. If one of these songs brought a memory back to life for you, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which one of these tracks made you remember something you thought was gone. Because in the end, that's what great music does. It doesn't fade away. It just waits for the right moment to be heard again.